Hi, I am Anthony Fopiano, and this is Living Better Small, A Better Life Through Minimalism. And today, I'm going to do some Q&A. Now, in the 3 years that I have been promoting my lifestyle, my minimalist lifestyle, a number of followers and curious parties have asked me a number of questions, and I do my best to address these questions in my posts. But I don't believe I've addressed them all. In fact, I know I haven't. So I have took the time to compile a list of many of these questions and then review them to see if I've answered a lot of them in my posts. And there actually are many that I have not answered or have not answered fully and completely. I looked at these questions, I narrowed them down to a selection of 6 that I think are the most interesting questions, and I have them right here. I want to address them today. First question is a minimalism a lifestyle or a philosophy-based practice? Can it be both? And that's exactly what I think of it. I definitely believe that minimalism is a philosophy. It's a philosophy of life. But it's only a philosophy until you apply it to your life. Then it becomes a lifestyle. Question number 2, what is the most difficult thing about maintaining a minimalist lifestyle? Well, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. The most difficult thing, well, 2 things. They're about even. First is not giving into temptation. We are humans. I'm a human just like anyone else, and I have temptations. You know, when you're out there, it is tempting to want to buy things that are flashy. You know, marketing is all around you, and it tempts you. And I'm as much a victim to that as anybody else is. We are all victims of that. We are all easily influenced, no matter how you look at it. And so, yes, for me, it's even still a challenge to resist the temptations to buy certain things that I believe might interest me. And that's just the first thing. The second thing is pressure. All around us, we have pressure. Not always direct pressure, but the pressure is out there. From people that do not live this kind of lifestyle, do not live a minimal lifestyle. Whether intentional or not, there are people living in excess. And because they're living in excess, we constantly feel that we should be living similar to they are, because we're always living our lives by comparison. And that we should not do. You should never live your life by comparison. But we do that instinctually. We look at what other people have and wonder why we don't have those things. Or we covet. We want to have what other people have. And so there's that. Hopefully it's not, that pressure is not intentional. Hopefully our friends and loved ones and acquaintances aren't telling us how we should live our lives. But the pressure's there nonetheless. Next question. What have you mastered in this discipline? And the answer is absolutely nothing. I have not mastered anything on it. It's always a work in progress. Even having been a minimalist for as long as I have been, having lived this life as long as I have, every single time it's always I wouldn't want to say work or struggle, but I always have to keep my principles in mind with every decision I make. Next question. What are some quick go-to principles to help maintain your lifestyle? Ooh, that's a difficult question to answer because for the most part, and everyone who's been following my blog knows this, I'm one for long, elaborate explanations for everything. I don't have anything short, and I doubt I'm going to be able to pull something short right now, but I'm going to try my best. Well, actually, I do. I do have a couple of good principles, quick principles. By which I go to. For the first one, the first 2 apply to my material possessions. The first one is for everything in, something's got to go out. Something in, something out, as I like to call it. So for every purchase I make, for every new material possession, new acquisition I get that I bring into the home, something else has got to go. And if we think about it, the majority of our possessions fit that anyway. If you're buying a new pair of shoes, for example, likelihood is they're replacing an old pair of shoes that's gotten ratty and weathered. So for most of our material possessions, that already applies. But it's important to keep that in mind with every single one of our material possessions. Just yeah, just before you make a purchase, look at the item and think to yourself, okay, what is this replacing? Before you even make the purchase, what is this item replacing? Yeah, just for everything you own, for every item in your home, look at it and you have to ask yourself the question. Oh, there's the old phrase, does this add value? But I would just want to change that phrase to, will I use this? Will I use this item? And even more specifically, if I'm to come up with like they ask for a quick go-to phrase, quick go-to. For everything in your home, the phrase you want to ask yourself is the amount of time I spend using this item, does it outweigh the cost of keeping it? Not necessarily cost monetarily wise, but time wise, because most of the things we own require some level of maintenance to them. So is the amount of maintenance I'm going to put into this and the space it takes up worth the amount of time I'm actually going to spend using it? That's really what you have to go to. And that wasn't that short, so let me sum that up. Let me try to. So you'll, for every item you own, you have to ask yourself, is the amount of time I spend using it, does the amount of time I spend using it outweigh the time I spend maintaining it and the space storing it? Kind of tough to quantify, and it's gonna, where we draw the lines as far as what's acceptable changes from person to person, from minimalist to minimalist. So that's what you want to ask. As far as, so those are my go-to phrases I ask myself as far as my material possessions are concerned. When it comes to other things, when it comes to my activities, the activities I do throughout the day, I have to ask myself the question, is this adding any value to my life? Is doing this thing adding any value to my life? Well, like material possessions, again, that's it's a very vague term to constantly ask yourself. So another quick go-to I ask myself every time when it comes to minimizing is this, does this give me any growth? Am I having any growth with this, doing this activity with this in my life? Is this in any way contributing to my growth? That's the phrase I'm looking for. Is doing this in any way contributing to my growth? If the answer is no, then it's a drain. If it's not a gain in your life, then it's a drain in your life and you must get rid of it. That's all there is to it. It's just that simple for me. Next question. How do you approach gift giving, whether it is the holidays, birthdays, weddings, etc.? And conversely, how does it affect you on the receiving end? Okay, that's a three-part question, so give me a moment to think about how I want to approach this. Gift giving. Well, most of the people in my life, be it friends, family, acquaintances, they know my lifestyle. And if not, I can make it clear to them long before the time for gift giving comes. So I mostly just ask that if they have to gift me anything, they gift me in experiences. And I actually, if they have to gift me. Most of the time I tell them, don't give me anything. The pleasure of your company is good enough for me. I'm not big on gifts in the first place. But if they are going to get me a gift, I advise that they give me a gift of experiences. Gift cards, fine dining, a concert, a Broadway play, for example. I like to, I'm a concert goer, a meal, those sort of things. Ooh, or a massage. I like to get massages done. Things like that. Experiences. I ask them to gift me in experiences. And food. Now, as far as giving gifts to people, I like to do the same practice. I like to gift in the form of experiences, Broadway shows, concerts, fine dining, massages, manicures, pedicures, things like that. Things that I know would make them feel good. Now, if it has to be a material possession, um, then if a person's giving me a gift, a lot of times it's easy because with most holiday occasions, for example, like Christmas, there's a Christmas list. People want to know what's on your Christmas list. And of course, I only put on my Christmas list things that add value to my life. So a lot of times there will be material possessions on my Christmas list. So people ask me what I want, then I can give them something that I will inform them of something that would add value to my life. Something that usually replaces something else in my home. You know, something in, something out, like I said earlier. So it has to be a material possession. Usually a list is involved. In the event, however, that somebody gifts me a material possession and it's something that I'm not going to get much value from, there's an etiquette there. I hold on to it for a certain amount of time. I'll see if I can get some value out of it. If it's something that long term I can't get value out of, then I will give it to somebody else that I know could really use that particular item. Yeah, that's more or less how I treat those situations. But those are few and far in between, because most people I know, most people that know me, I should say, that would be inclined to give me a gift are aware of my lifestyle and the limitations there. The last question number 6. How do I approach grocery shopping, meal planning, and cooking? That's a big question. Okay, let's get into it. Well, to start with, when it comes to grocery shopping, I do have a couple rules I go by. First of all, always have a list. And it must be written down, or on my cell phone, in the notepad on my cell phone. Keep a list. It's important to have it written down someplace or texted down, because if you just keep it memorized, a memorized list is very flexible. It's more likely you're going to deviate from that list, you're going to miss things from that list, and you're going to add things to it while you're actually at the grocery store. To avoid doing that, always make your list before you even go to the grocery store. Write it down or put it on your mobile device. And that's what I do. It helps me stick to the list. So that way I'm disciplined to only putting the things I need, not the things I desire, not the tempting things on that list. Less likely to give in to temptation that way. Don't go grocery shopping hungry. Make sure you eat well for your grocery shopping. So that way you're much less likely to give in to the temptations, because what'll happen is you'll go hungry, you'll grab that bag of chips, you'll go home, you'll eat half of it, feel guilty about it, and then you'll have half a bag of chips sitting around that's adding no value, and you'll feel obligated to eat it now just because you bought it. So to avoid that, eat before you go grocery shopping. That's what I do. I always eat before I go grocery shopping. And that's it as far as grocery shopping is concerned. As far as meal planning and cooking, to be honest, my wife and I, we can't stand cooking. We don't like it at all. So when it comes to cooking, we like to cook in bulk for the entire week. One big cooking for the entire week, usually done on Sunday. Today is Sunday, so we're gonna be doing that today. And we do it once for the entire week. A lot of times we'll use the crock pot for that. We do a lot of crock pot cooking around here, or slow cooker as it's also called. And we'll cook one set of meals for the week, for dinner for the week. And as far as lunches are concerned, I do create them in advance on Sunday, the same as the dinner. And I will create portions, pre-create portions, cook in bulk, create portions, and also prepare my shakes. I always have a fruit shake for lunch at work every day, comprised of many different fruits. I think right now I'm going with strawberries, bananas, blueberries, and with almond milk as the liquid there. And every morning I take one of those portions, blend it, cap it off, put it in my lunchbox, and off to work I go, along with the my meat and rice portion, whatever that may be in this particular week. And that's how I do that. As far as dinner is concerned, pretty much the same. Prepare it. We don't portion it off. We pretty much create the bulk food and then throw it in the fridge and just portion it off as we need it as the week goes on. But that's pretty much how we treat that. So we cook in bulk and we portion it off for the week. And that's how we do it every weekday. As far as the weekends are concerned, we play that by ear, which is not, granted, not a very minimalist approach. But for dinner, we go out to eat. Mostly for breakfast and lunch, those are quick. You know, for me, breakfast could be something as simple as a couple eggs and a banana, and for lunch, just another couple pieces of fruit. Or sometimes I'll just skip it altogether. Depends on how busy I am. And for dinner, we like to go out to eat during the weekends. Thank you for joining me for my Q&A session. I'll probably be doing more of these in the future. If you like what you've seen here, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Living Better Small, A Better Life Through Minimalism. Also, check out my webpage, livingbettersmall.com. And also be sure to get my book, available for both Kindle and Nook, on Amazon.com and also BarnesandNoble.com, also titled Living Better Small, A Better Life Through Minimalism. Thank you for joining. See you next time.